And this is Andrea with Nutrition Commission. And today I wanted to talking about the day of diagnosis and what that experience obviously was for myself, and also to try to address some of those raw emotions that I know a lot of people experience. I'm just going to address three key things: the day of diagnosis and your emotional state, let's say up until the first 2 weeks, and that raw state of fear and panic and mental, physical, emotional chaos that ensues, right? I want to just give you some things to think about if you're in that situation, or perhaps a family member is also in that situation, and maybe even touch on the type of support we can ask for that allows our family to know how best to serve us, because they're also going through their own trauma too, right? This is where the mental strength of survivorship comes in. And it's hard because it's new. It's obviously a life-threatening crisis. We're at that point still not sure what to trust, who to trust. And in the throes of it, especially as women, we have this natural, innate duty almost to be the kind of the caretaker of the household. And so when we get thrown out of our roles, and that includes the family members too, everybody sees this massive disruption, and nobody knows their role. Nobody knows their place or footing in the family either. So it's just a very chaotic event, beyond stressful. So three things that I kind of wanted to bring up today, just to give you some mindfulness around perhaps pausing and resetting your energy. Energy is probably one of the most important things to our healing and recovery. And I didn't know just how important it was until I've been through even my own schooling. But let's talk about number one, okay? And that's stop Googling. Stop Googling. And that one, apart from you trying to research and understand your disease and getting educated and informed, absolutely. But if you're spending, let's say, more than, and I'll even be gracious here, if you're spending more than 2 hours a day Googling your condition, the symptoms, the death, survival rates, all of that is actually going to create more problems chemically. Your mindset is obviously completely off its kilter with thinking the worst beliefs you could put in your head is now coming to your fruition, right? So one of the first things that I struggled, believe me, I struggled, okay? Because this was in 2015 and I was 30 weeks pregnant and I was like complete, what the hell? How did this happen? I mean, completely out of left field that I was getting breast cancer, and of course I'm pregnant. So I understand the urgency to want to be on it, but put it down, give yourself a 2-hour limit max. And if you obviously are still, you still want access to information, books are probably the better way to go. And I also encourage, in terms of this quest to get information, is make sure you can solicit a second opinion. Second opinion, because as another piece of a women's, we're in crisis. Oftentimes we feel like we just take that one person's view or opinion as holy grail. And we kind of okay, that's great. But getting a second opinion that you can then solicit your understanding, awareness, and education between the two was hugely powerful for my own journey. So the second important piece of kind of advice I would give, having been there, done that, is be still. Okay? What the hell do I mean by be still? I mean turning off the television, having the house to yourself, and just be still to literally let the raw emotion pass through your body. I bring that up because, again, when we're in that fight or flight, obviously because we're in massive stress, experience, rightly so, we end up getting into that place where we are desperate for that magic pill. Do you know what I mean, you guys? That magic pill. Tell me what to take. Tell me what to do. And we end up doing this whack-a-mole thing. I mean, I say that with all of my loving kindness, because I did the same thing. Like, just tell me what to do. Just tell me what to do. And there's this frenzy of energy, again, that we're creating in our chemistry, in our ability to just calm the body. And we need to calm the body, because keeping a calm body allows the inflammation to subside. And it also, coincidentally, allows us to do a better job of digesting and absorbing all of the good foods that we are trying to put into our body. That whack-a-mole syndrome, though, just to spend just a second on that, my biggest words of advice in terms of what should I do, where do I start? And I'll just make it very simple. Eat more vegetables. Eat more vegetables. And the second piece I would put in there is make sure you're eating all organic. Okay, so if you have not been able to even manage any of it yet, you know you're trying to change diet, my number one thing is just start eating more green vegetables, okay? And if that's challenging, then I would say at the very least, start green juicing every day. And the third is, in that spirit of being still, feeling the raw emotions, go ahead and cry. Crying, and again, I'm in a bunch of different breast cancer support groups on Facebook, and I do that because I want to stay in touch with my own raw emotion of that experience of going through cancer, honestly. And I know that might seem kind of morbid, but I don't ever want to forget. I don't ever want to forget how hard it was, and the whole process, how dark it gets, how scary it gets. So I see so many women who are kind of in that shock, still in the shock phase of denial. And that's okay too, because we all have our own timeline. But if you can be still, allow yourself to cry, get that energy out so that your chakras can be released. You have to have that ability to kind of like free the trauma, okay? Free the trauma out of your body. And if this sounds weird, I know it's a little woo-woo, but free the trauma out of your body. It needs to get out, okay? And also the act of crying, as you may not remember, is you're releasing cortisol hormone out of your tears. So that's a good thing, okay? So I hope that these pointers give you something to think about. And the most important thing, if you've just been diagnosed, is, use others as your travel guide, okay? I've been there, I've done it. I understand the raw emotions. I may not be totally walking in your shoes, but I had shoes to walk in that were pretty shitty too. And I think we can relate a lot to the suffering and the crisis and the chaos. And if you can just start focusing on those three things and just allow yourself to calm. So the next 2 weeks, if you're diagnosed and you're waiting for your first, medical treatment or appointment, my biggest thing is just go within. Okay, go within. Feel the feels, don't run from it. And that's going to start giving you that energy of survivalship, and you're going to trigger something inside of you that's going to be very powerful. All my best. God bless everyone. Bye-bye.